In this video, we went to Babetta's Yarn and Gifts to look at the Barraco collection of yarn, and she has plenty. In this first sample that I looked at, made with the Remix Light, it was sort of a heathered yarn, and it felt really great. It was amazing to touch. And you can see here it's made with 2 balls of the Barraco Remix Light. And we're going to look at what she has. And one thing I really like about this shop is the variety of colors that she brings in the various yarns. I mean, there's just a ton of options there, and many of them have enough to make a garment out of. Now, this particular sample was the Barocco Lumi, and it was a cotton blend, and it did have some heft to it. You could feel the, I don't know if it was the cotton that was making it heavy, but it was still really nice. And here we see the lumi. And this yarn is, don't see the yardage, but it is 80% cotton, 18% polyester, 2% other fibers. There it is, 1.7, oops, I thought that was 1.7 ounces. But it is in a cardboard round, so it's not a solid cake. And there were a lot of colors offered in this lumi. Really pretty yarn. This is the Mela fiori, and I think it is 350 yards, 3.5 ounces, 50% wool, 50% acrylic, and it is a 2 weight. It's really pretty. Now here's a sample made with that ball right there. Isn't that a lovely sample? Nice open stitch on there, and it felt very soft. It was very nice. And these are the color options that she had available in that particular yarn. Now this sample, this little capelet, I thought was really pretty. I did like the way that the yarn felt, but it was made with a yarn I could not find in the shop, the Barocco Mantra. So I don't know if maybe she just doesn't carry it anymore, but it was really a nice sample. This is the Barocco Vintage Sock. And it felt really, really good. Had good squishability to it. And it is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, 40% nylon, 437 yards of a 3.5 ounce ball of yarn. Really nice. I didn't really notice that there was even the wool in it because it felt really nice. Here's all the colors you see. A lot of variety in the color choices. I liked this blue. Now I haven't really worked much with a sock weight yarn, but I did bring one of these home to play with. This teal was pretty. I am drawn to those blues, teals, oranges. Now this was interesting. This was the Comfort Sock, and I really liked to find this because it was a 50% fine nylon and a 50% fine, well, super fine acrylic, and it felt really good. And it is a great alternative if you cannot wear wool or don't want to wear wool, so you could still, make socks and have a good quality yarn. They had all of these options. That one was not one of them. So it's these ones down here and then across. And they had all the solids and a lot of these self-striping options. So they would be interesting to try. I kind of liked that blue and lime next to there. Nice variety of solids and stripes. So you could do the sock with a contrasting toe. Now this is the ultra fine or ultra wool fine 100% superwash merino. And we had 400 yards of a 1 weight. Really pretty. Again, nice squishability. And when I was touching the sample, I was just floored by how wonderful it felt. Now, mind you, all of these are washed and blocked, all of these samples, but this just really felt great. I wanted to go home and knit up a shawl in this. So nice. It must bloom well because the sample did not feel like it was made with a 1 fine. Here's your pinks, some lovely creams. Now this is the Ultra Wool DK variety, and it is a similar yarn. It just is in a 3 weight. Somewhere on here, there it is. And it is 292 yards at a 3.5 ounce ball. I thought that was a pretty color right there. I'd like to play with this DK weight. That is a beautiful color there. I kind of thought that all of these ones on this shelf would go really well together, like in a shawl or something, or some kind of garment. That green was pretty. These were nice. I would like to go back and get one of each of these and make like a, I don't know, maybe a hat and a scarf or something. Now this sample was made with, I want to say Renew. We'll have to see what the card says, but it felt really nice, but it was definitely heavy. So I would say this would be a fall or a winter garment. There is the Renew, or fall or winter, maybe yarn, because it did have some weight to it, some heft. So I would not wear this in the warmer months, but it was really nice. Very pretty. Let's see the yarn here in a moment. Here we go. Now this is 164 yards. We have 35% viscose, 30% wool, 30% nylon, and 5% cashmere. And it felt really good. But it's 1.75 ounce ball, so you'd have to have, I would think, quite a few of these to make a garment. Very nice though. And there was a good variety of colors. That's pretty. But I really liked that blush that was next to it on the right, that one right there. Very pretty. And then here we get into the gray scales and the blues, with of course the teal over there. And some of the darker colors. Now this was another sample that just felt really good. I liked the bounce back when you kind of squished it. And I was looking at this and I was thinking, oh, this has got to be, this Arno here has to be a 4-weight. 3 balls made this particular garment. But as I found when I looked at this, it must bloom well because 57% cotton, 43% merino, and it is a 3-weight. But that sample did not feel like it was made with a 3-weight yarn. And I did not get the yardage on that. But it's very pretty yarn and it felt so good. I'm really impressed by this Barraco yarn. I will say that. I loved that gold right there. This was the Pima cotton. And you can see got a little bit of shine on it. Might be mercerized, I'm not sure. But it is 218 yards, 3.5 ounces of the 100% Pima cotton and a 4-weight. And Pima cotton is supposed to be just an excellent, excellent cotton. Some of the best cotton to make garments out of. A lot of colors here. So pretty. I also got one of these hanks to play with. Sort of made my own like little Barocco yarn tasting bag to bring home. Beautiful. This sample is also another cotton yarn. And it felt like, again, you would expect of a cotton, but it felt like a nice cotton, like a really good quality cotton. And I loved the drape on it. And it was the modern cotton DK. And it took 2 hanks for that sample. Lovely. And the drape is nice, as I said. That's something, you know, you want to look for when you're going to make a shawl. And they had 2 colors up there on the top. And then we start looking at all the choices here. I like that yellow. Yellow is pretty. Some lovely ones there. Here's some darker colors. Now these were kind of greens and teals, and this one looks yellow, but it really is a very soft sage green. It was beautiful. And I liked that orange too. I think because of the shine there, they're not 100% coming out true to color on camera. And here's the modern cotton. So this is not the DK version, and it is 209 yards. 40% modal rayon. That's what the other thing is in there. So it's cotton and modal rayon. They're blends. And they felt really good. Would definitely, definitely like to make some sort of a summer top out of these. The DK version or the modern, either or, they're beautiful. Here's some more of the modern cotton. I liked that orange. Been into oranges lately, I'm not sure why. So nice. Definitely. And this was the vintage, which was a little bit of a, I would say, like a poofier yarn or a squishier sort of yarn. It is also a 4-weight, 52% acrylic, 40% wool, 8% nylon, 218 yards at 3.5 ounces. And I would also love to go back and get some of this to play with maybe next time. But I really liked that vintage. I think that would make a great winter hat and scarf, maybe even mitt set. Like maybe one of those like little berets or cloches or whatever they call those hats. I'm not sure I have that right, but definitely. And they just had colors for days. All of these, all of them is the Barraco vintage. Just amazing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I will say I did miss, I think, a few of the Barraccos in the shop. I sort of realized that on another trip there. But they were really beautiful. So thanks for coming along and having a look with me.